Hi, this is Raj from Symphony Corporation. Along with me here is Tom, and we are going to talk about Lawson Business Intelligence. This LBI is the Info Lawson product, which Symphony is offering as a service to install and consulting on that, along with some report deliveries and things like that. So, in the initially we will be looking at all the slides based on different components of business intelligence and the architecture, what business intelligence is, what does it support and doesn't support, all sort of good details, and then we will jump into the actual demo. We'll be looking at the dashboards and modules and links and reports and everything else within business intelligence, hands-on. And if you have any questions, then I'll give you some contact information to get more details on that. So let's get started. So, all right. Okay. So this is our agenda. So this is what we are going to talk about. First, we will see the different components, core components of business intelligence itself, and then we'll look at the architecture of LBI, different kinds of databases that are supported by LBI, and what kind of connectivity that it supports, what are the different kinds of contents that you can distribute or publish in the dashboards of LBI, like reports or PDF files and things like that. What are the features, uses of the LBI, and what kind of mindset the user should start getting into to start using more efficiently the LBI. I'll show you some screenshots how it looks like, and then we'll jump into the demo part. Excuse me. So these are the four different core components of business intelligence. On the top of everything else is the framework services. Framework services is something called dashboard. It's a fancy name of dashboard, where all your reports and all your files for the distribution for the usage of your users are published and appear as links, as hyperlinks. Like you go into a website and click on things, so those kind of hyperlinks. That's what framework services does. And underneath it, reporting services is another core component where all your reports go. It says reporting services, but doesn't mean that only Crystal reports or SQL Server reports or any kind of report can be published in there. Any kind of flat file can also be published in there. We'll be looking into that later on. Moving on to smart notification. Smart notification is kind of an online alert, like an email alert. So there are certain notifications that you can set up or develop within the smart notification itself against your online Lawson database or any other SQL database where something happens on instantaneously, and that should be notified to certain people in the department, like VP or procurement director or things like that. It can send out email notifying certain people saying something has happened, go check it out or look at it or analyze that. So that's what smart notification is all about. Viewpoint is another tool by Lawson Info product line which is used to display the cube data, where initially we use Excel to connect to a cube and slice and dice the dimensions or facts based on different dimensions and parameters. Now Lawson itself giving you another tool which is very easy to build and very fancy to look at, to create graphs and everything, and slice and data, easy to slice and dice data, change columns to rows and rows to columns into, and look at different facts in different ways. So that is a viewpoint. Looking at the business intelligence architecture, this is the global architecture. To look at it. So on the top, all the laptops are your general users. It might be local, they might be in different cities, they might be globally situated all over the world, but they can all connect to one Lawson LBI server to look at the data. And this server can be connected to different systems. It's not only Lawson system database that it can be connected to. It can be connected to Oracle systems or SQL Server or Access, any other database system. that can be connected via ODBC or native OLEDB connectivity and distribute the reports. So this is the overall architecture of the LBI. Looking at the database that that LBI supports is, as we talked before, as I mentioned before, any database, not only Oracle or SQL Server or Excel or Access or DB2, it can connect to any sort of database that can be connected via ODBC or OLEDB connectivity that we can connect with. It can be flat file, Excel files, anything like that. Okay, so from there you can, if the report is, data source of the report can be anything and it can be published, doesn't matter what kind of database it is. Contents for the distribution. So what can we distribute via LBI? LBI is sort of one-stop shop for everything. It can display the intranet home site of your company. It can display the home page of your company. It can display your portal, anything that you want to. People can go to different screens of Lawson via LBI. They don't have to log into portal itself. That are some of the features other than listed that listed items here. Any crystal reports, any reports or PDF files, audio video files, anything that you want to be published for your users to see, that can be published in LBI as a hyperlink. So what are the different features, uses, and opportunities that we'll be seeing is features, I would say, is ease of use. It's very user-friendly. Log in and you are in, and you have all the reports that you want to look at a point and click kind of environment. It's user-friendly. You go, log in, click, and that's your report, your smart notification, your graphs, your analysis, anything that you want, it's there. Less of a report to develop. What I mean by that is when a report is developed, like HR personnel should be looking at HR department only, or PR should be looking at PR department employees only, that kind of report. What we can do is we can create a report at corporate level, publish into the reporting services, and we can we call it bursting it. When we burst it based on the rights assigned in reporting services, the users only will see the data that they are given access to. They won't see the whole complete 100% report. They will just see the subset of that report that they have given access to. So what happens is we are maintaining one single report, and different people are looking at different data from the same report. LBI does not create any instances of that report. It's one single report. Different people see different subset of the same report, and if there is any change, people look at the same numbers. One another feature of this LBI is if something is wrong in the report, everybody is looking at the same number. It is not that one department has one version of the report, another department has another version of the report. One report, that's another advantage of LBI. Less reports, more user use the report at different levels, at different uses, and developers are also happy to maintain less number of reports, less mistakes, and mistakes can be corrected, but right or wrong, everybody sees the same number. That's the main objective of business intelligence here. This is a screenshot of the LBI, Lawson Business Intelligence. The whole thing is not Lawson Business Intelligence. What I have done here is the screenshot contains, I logged into Lawson portal, which is a web application for Lawson, for S3, and we have made the LBI dashboards as the home page when they log in. Instead of some companies, some clients have their own intranet as their home page, their website as their home page when users log in, but we have made the dashboard as their home page when they log into the Lawson portal. So you don't have to log in twice. So when a user logs into Lawson, user does not need to log into LBI separately look at the reports. So that is the concept, something called single sign-on, which Lawson Infor practices and recommends, and Symphony. As Symphony, we usually recommend, and when we install LBI to the client side, we usually install and configure LBI with the Lawson portal if the client owns Lawson portal to do single sign-ons and make the home page. It's the LBI is their homepage, so when the user logs in, they have everything there to work with. They don't have to re-log in and log out and do all sort of things. This is one another screenshot. So these are the different components of within a dashboard. So supply chain management is the dashboard for supply chain, obviously. And then any red boxes that you see here are something called modules. A module, within a module, you can either display the contents, like you see the requisition approval needed. That is a smart notification or of listing from the process flow where you can approve or reject the requisition. And on the contract compliance alert, you see a small graph over there, and then underneath it you see supply chain analysis reports and related dashboards. These are the hyperlinks where you can get from one dashboard to another dashboard, which may or may not contain many other links or contents displayed in it already within the modules, or it may be a report, or it may be an audio video file, or anything like that. Right? So this is another screenshot where you have modules with links like financial indicator dashboards, which are different dashboards there, financial reports, the board reports, operational reports, all different kinds of links are again for reports, and the content right there, patient AR by payer, which is a complete graph where you have radio buttons for Medicare or Blue Cross. Based on that is an interactive graph. Based on what radio button you click, the graph changes for the month or year to date, however you have developed it. So far we have looked at in theory everything. So we will be jumping into the demo part. So I have here, so I'm going to log in into LBI using the portal. So I'm connected via VPN to the virtual machine of Symphony Corp, and I'm logging in. All right, so this is what the screenshot that we saw in our slide. This is the exact same screenshot that we saw in our slide. It doesn't have to be like this. You can go into LBI separately. What I'm trying to say here is any users, any Lawson users in your company who do not have LBI access, they can have a different homepage. Not everybody in your company will have access to LBI, and not everybody in your company will have access to Lawson. So there are three different sets of users that we're talking about. Anybody who has access to Lawson only, do not have access to Lawson LBI, Lawson Business Intelligence. People who have access to LBI but do not have access to Lawson per se, who only run reports, test them, develop them, kind of a thing. And anybody who have access to both LBI and Lawson. Right? You can manage them separately and things like that. But when we look at this reports, we looked at the supply chain dashboard. So this is the exact same screen. We looked at that. All right. And this Symphony Corp reports is one of the demo reports that I had created previously. So this, when you look at that, when you hover your cursor on top of any of those titles, purchasing or analysis or requisitions or PO created by inventory, it becomes blue. It's an hyperlink. You click on that, LBI starts running the report, and boom, the report is right there. This is a crystal reports basically. This doesn't mean that every single system or every single user system who is using LBI or running crystal reports, we need to install crystal reports in that. Crystal reports server RAS is installed along with LBI. A crystal report viewer is installed along with it with LBI. So when any user clicks on any report that is developed in crystal reports, they can automatically view the report. The crystal report viewer kicks in from the server and displays the content on their user's machine with the Crystal Report Viewer. They need not have Crystal Reports installed in their machine to view any Crystal Reports. So based on that, these can be bursted based on anything. This is a vendor number. You can based on vendor number you can burst it. So if I'm a buyer who was allowed to look at only vendor 100, I can burst it and say, hey, this I can see only vendor 100. That's all. So it can be done. That's a completely different and big demo later on. But again, these are the different kinds of dashboards that you can develop. So these are the different. This is one another graph that I had in my screenshot. So this is something called interactive graph developed using Excelsius. It's basically a flash file which you can publish into reporting services and give as a content in there. See different reports, different data. It's nice, it's fancy, and also when you look at the CFO dashboard, when your CFO comes in, logs in to Lawson or LBI, however, depending on the access that he has been given, everything is on his dashboard. The analysis to get his day started, looking at the numbers and everything, and we can take it from there. He can take it from there. All right. So this is what LBI is all about. So when you get into looking at LBI, when you start thinking about LBI, think in a perspective saying how can we minimize the number of development, how can we maximize the number of usage of the reports, of the contents, whether it's smart notes of the reports or anything like that. If you can combine a couple of reports and bring it together, that will be good. And another dashboard that I wanted to show is the patient care services. This is coming from Epic Data, right? So this is not limited to Lawson database itself. It is coming from Epic. So when I go back to my slide of the architecture, so at the bottom I have data warehouse. It is not only Lawson system or Epic system or data warehouse. You might have an existing data warehouse that you might want to connect to, which you can do. You can bring in Epic data, Lawson data into your existing data warehouse, bring it in and create reports out of it. Combine Lawson data along with Epic data, create a report and put it in the dashboard. People need not log into Epic data, look at the different reports. People need not log into Lawson to look at the Lawson reports. It's all Lawson Business Intelligence is supposed to bring every single report from different applications together into one place so that it'll be easy for the users to look at, analyze, and get their day started. That's what Lawson Business Intelligence does, and that's what Symphony offers you. Thank you very much. And as for if you have any questions, please contact Tom Zeidel at tom.zeidel@symphonycorp.com, and his phone number 201-956-4766. He will be more than happy to help you in any matters or any questions that you have. Thank you so much.